First John chapter 5 from verse 4 to verse 5 reveals to us three powerful things when it comes to warfare and overcoming the world. Okay, verse 4 says to us that whosoever is born of God overcometh the world. So it means the key to overcoming the world is to be born of God. The next line says, this is the victory that overcometh the world, even our faith. So what faith is there is believing that Jesus is the Son of God, which leads us to becoming born of God, as the next verse will reveal. He said, who is it that overcometh the world but he that believes that Jesus is the Son of God? So it means the key to overcoming the world has just been explained in three ways. One, it is being born of God. Two, it is, the faith of the Son of God, or the faith in the Son of God. And then three, you are believing that Jesus is the Son of God, which means believing Jesus is the Son of God is the way to be born of God. And that is what the faith which overcomes the world is. Now, in 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 12, when he was saying to Timothy to fight the good fight of faith, I call it the good fight of faith. It's good because, it overcomes the world, as I'm going to show you, very soon. The very idea of fighting doesn't really sound good, but when they call it the good fight of faith, you can begin to understand that, it is not really a fight, as it were, but it's an analogy that he employed, in explaining to Timothy what he's intending to say, as we are going to see here. 1 Timothy chapter 6 verse 12 says to us to fight the good fight of faith and to lay hold on eternal life, whereunto thou art also called. That text says also. So one of the things you should understand here is that the term lay hold here is not talking about try to get eternal life. No. What he's saying in essence is the eternal life you already have, work it out. It is not enough to just know that you are saved and that you are his son. Okay, it also, relates, or rather it also flows into knowing that now that I am a son, I have to live in a way that shows that I am a son, as you are going to see, which is what Paul, the Apostle Paul, is admonishing Timothy, his son, towards. The term lay hold in this text is actually the term to take hold of. Okay, is the Greek word 𝗙𝗙𝗏, okay, which it means to, actively participate in the salvation that you have gotten. It's the same thing as working out your salvation with fear and trembling. It is called your salvation. It doesn't mean that you are working to get salvation. It means now that you have salvation, work it out. That text is your salvation. So it is like saying something already is, but not yet. Now get what I'm saying. The salvation you have received is full, is total. But the manifestation, the exemplifications, or rather the reality of how it is, especially in our earthly life, is not yet fulfilled. It's not yet in its final state. It means that now that we're already saved in full, we are waiting for a manifestation of that salvation fully. That's still a future thing that we would experience. So while you are yet in this state, work out your salvation. The word fight is agonizio, which means to persevere, to exercise discipline, okay, to exercise a dedication, all right, so that you don't become, idle enough for the tactics, the wiles and whims and caprices of the enemy to be able to get at you, and overshadow you. Usually, an idle hand, they say, is the devil's workshop. And this is very true, especially in terms of our discussion this morning. All right. If you are going to read 1 Timothy 6:12 and you are going to read down, you discover that 1 Timothy, chapter 6 verse 19 explains, 1 Timothy chapter 6 verse 12 All right. So one of the things you are going to see is that 1 Timothy chapter 6 verse 19 says, laying up in store for themselves a good foundation against the time to come, that they may lay hold on eternal life. So the laying hold of eternal life here is not saying that you don't have it. It's saying that you have to lay a good foundation. You have to be strong enough, build enough strength. All right. Be persevere enough, exercise discipline enough, exercise dedication to your faith enough that you are strong enough to be able to silence the enemy. So it means that when Satan comes at you, he comes at you usually on the premises where he observes weaknesses. Do not forget that. So if you know you are saved, but you are living in sin, you are living an indisciplined life, you are going to give Satan the premise to get at you. He will come at you. I mean, you can't condemn me for something I know I've not really done wrong. Okay, you can't bring that condemnation to me. It won't work. This is not about, building confidence, which some people think grace is. Even when I know I'm wrong, I still with bold face says Jesus has died for me, and I'm not really looking at working on myself, or working out the salvation that I already have. Satan will keep talking to you. It will keep coming at you. Listen to this. There's a state you can get to in your faith, in your exemplification of faith, in your living out the righteousness of God that you are, the salvation that you have received, to the point that you are completely deaf to the enemy. Okay? The way people in the world are completely deaf to God, you can become completely deaf to Satan, such that there's nothing he says that gets to you. You can get to that point in your walk with God. And one of the ways you can do that is to actively, not just receive salvation or eternal life as a passive thing, but to know that now that I've received it, there's a life that has been given to me that I have to live. All right. This is the next step after just knowing you have been born of God, after accepting, having the faith that Jesus is the Son of God, which has already made you a victor. You understand that from that standpoint of victory, you are fighting from victory and not fighting for victory. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So we have to understand the basic fact that because I'm born again, because I'm born of God, because I have faith in Jesus, because I believe he's the Son of God, I have the victory already, I've overcome the world already. And also the fact that you have to now start building a strong foundation, laying it on eternal life, working out your salvation with fear and trembling, such that the victory that you have received is exercised continuously on a consistent basis, so that you no longer hear the enemy. Okay, this is one of the ways not only to win warfare, but to live a consistent life of victory. All right, I know you've learned one or two things, and I know you are blessed of the Lord. See you in the next one. Thank you.